Hello and welcome to our review of the Les Mills Grit Athletic number 28. It is the very first Grit Athletic, so don't look at the 28. It is Grit Series release number 28 along with Cardio and Strength, and Grit Athletic is now been introduced to replace Grit Plyometrics. Alright, we're just going to get the housekeeping out of the way. So I am a Les Mills qualified Grit instructor. I'm also a personal trainer. Other than that, I have no ties with Les Mills International. And any of the opinions formed within this review are completely and entirely my own. Okay, so let's cover what everyone wants to know. How is it different from Grit Plyo, and has it completely eliminated Grit Plyometrics? Because a lot of participants in my particular class were very concerned about that. So, it does completely replace Grit Plyo. It does not replace all the plyometric explosive work. So what Les Mills have discovered is that a lot of participants, first-timers and those observing the class, were really intimidated by the concept of 30 minutes of explosive jumping. So what they've done is they've tried to change the program a little bit with some more what they call athletic conditioning. So it means there's now more speed, there's more strength and more agility type elements in the workout with fewer plyometric jumps. Now, I'm very pleased, having now taught it, learnt it, and done it a few times with my own classes, the plyometric elements are still in there. Very much so. A lot of members in my class were very happy about that, so there's still a very strong plyometric explosive element, but it's just not the focus for the entire 30 minutes. So how does the structure of the new Grit Athletic work? So for this particular release, it ties in heavily with Grit Cardio. So that the first and second tracks are direct copies of Grit Cardio. So that means the warm-up and the ladder are identical to Grit Cardio. So you use the same music and the same choreography. Track 3 is the same structure and the same music, but the Tabata moves are different. We then go on for 1 minute worth of jump training, a coach call block, 50 seconds of jump training, a coach call block, 40 seconds of jump training, coach call blocks, and then finally a 30-second block of jump training. I have thoughts on this. As a structure, holistically, I quite like what they've done here. In terms of some of the choreography, 90% of it I really dig. It's cool. It is a really athletic workout. It's tough. It's really tough. I'm going to get more into it as we go through. Now, I'm going to skip over track 1 and track 2 here, because if you want to hear more about that, you can go and have a look at our Grit Cardio review and hear our thoughts upon that. We're going to jump straight into Tabata. Now, it has the same structure as Grit Cardio, that being a 20-second on and 10-second off type structure, so typical Tabata. However, the 20 seconds on alternates between two different, and I'm pleased to say this, plyometric type moves. So a plyo sumo jump on the first time you do it, and then the second time you do it, you come with a tricep push-up and then a speed jack on and off the bench. What I dig about this track, and they do this in the other ones as well, the 10 seconds off is not a rest. It is a plank that you hold, in this case, on the bench. So you can put the knees down or you hold it on toes, and that means you sort of lose 5% energy every time you start the next round. There's 8 rounds of 20 on and 10 off, and by the end of your 8th round, you're starting to breathe really heavily because you cannot recover as much in that 10 seconds off. So let's talk about the 1 minute jump training. So what this involves is a move called the 360 bench jump, I should say. 360 bench jump. It literally involves stepping in a square pattern around your bench and jumping. So step, jump, step, jump, step, jump around your bench. The theory is it's a great way to drive the heart rate up. It's also fabulous for oxygen deprivation. So because the jumping action requires so much explosive recruitment of major leg muscles, you also have a lot of drive through your arms. The theory, as a personal trainer, the theory behind this I agree with. From a instructor point of view, it's nice and easy to coach. It's incredibly simple. From an interest point of view, look, once I think in this is great. This happens a few times in the release, and it serves different purposes a little bit. I'm going to talk more about it probably in the next jumping track. But for the first time you do this, yeah, great. It's a great challenge. I actually personally hate the music in this track, but look, it serves the purpose. It does the job. Coach calls. Now we're starting to get fun again. So all the coach calls tracks in this athletic release, I reckon they're great. They're really interactive. They're really fun. It puts a lot of the onus on the instructor to keep an eye on your class and see how hard you want to push them. The first one, for example, involves a jumping lunge combo while you're holding the plate overhead. So it involves a squat and then a lunge and a squat and a lunge, and you jump to translate between all of those. On the call of switch, you get your participants to jump on and over the bench, turn around, and then continue that base pattern on the other side of the bench. You do this twice, and each round is started with a round of push-ups. You either do 16 of them on the beat, or you can challenge the more advanced members in your class by getting them to go max out push-ups for 25 seconds, which is a nice option for those who really want to push themselves. Jump training, again, for 50 seconds this time, so it's shorter. Look, it's exactly the same moves, you just go the other way around the bench. To me, as I said before, I really don't like the music, which shouldn't persuade me one way or the other as to the effectiveness of the track. It kind of does. This feels a bit lazy in terms of choreography for me. I can see the purpose behind it. It's an ever decreasing time frame, but an increasing challenge. So you're more and more tired every time you come back to jump training. I don't like it. It provides a hell of a workout. So from a workout difficulty point of view, it's great. In terms of choreography, it's lazy. And I think on the next release, they need to change that methodology up a little bit. Second set of coach calls. See, this is what the jump training should have done. So this is exactly the same sort of style and format as the first set of coach calls, but it's got different moves. It keeps it interesting. The music's different. What we do here is your holding pattern is a shuttle. Now, the first block you go through this, there are two different calls. One is drop, which means you do a burpee and come back to a shuttle, which is basically a fast sprint on the ground. And you have dodge, which means a left and a right shuffle to the side and a floor touch. So you shuffle left, touch the floor, shuffle right, touch the floor, come back to your pattern. So for a minute, you're busting out as fast as you can go these combinations of hold, left, hold, right. The second time you do it, we add an extra one. So you get extra call, which is catch, which is a plyo jump off the top of the bench. You can have so much fun with this. So I had heaps of fun with my participants, sometimes getting them to sprint for long times and then doing all these different calls in quick sequential action. It's good. It keeps it varied, the heart rate's up, and it keeps people's attention focused on you, wondering what the next call is going to be. 40-second jump training. Yeah, it's back again. I literally had people rolling their eyes when they heard this music again. Look, I get it. It's on the instructor to make this fun. It's exactly the same choreography again. Except this time you can add the call of switch. So you might start clockwise, stepping and jumping around your bench. On the call of switch, you change it to anti-clockwise. It's shorter, it's 40 seconds. By this time, you're starting to get knackered and tired. So again, I see the purpose behind it. The same music, the same choreography. Nah, I've had enough of it by now. The final set of coach calls. This is an absolute burner that is going to bring your class home in a big way. So the two different patterns, you have a speed ladder. So feet either side of the bench and one leg at a time running up and down on the bench. So you from a straddle, up, down, down, up, down, down. On the call of squat hold, you straddle the bench. So feet either side into a low squat, hands overhead. So a maximum pace move with a static low hold. Combine the two of those for 30 seconds, you get a really good burn in the legs. In the back half of the block, so after the 30 seconds, you then turn sideways and run up and down on the bench. So an up, down, on bench is basically what this move is called. Flat out for the last 30 seconds. It's a calf melter. It's going to really, really push some cardiovascular boundaries with your class. Heaps of people loved the challenge of trying to keep maximum pace for that whole time. And you do it 3 times. I am quite okay with this choreography being the same through all 3 blocks because of the challenge it provides. And our last one is jump training for 30 seconds again. Now I'm actually okay with it here because what they do is they turn the step jump into a step jump tuck. So an increased intensity of movement. It changes the move enough to make it interesting again. And for the last 30 seconds, the intensity is so high that it is a real challenge to get your legs and lungs to cooperate for this. So I'm okay with it being in this position. The other jump trainings, I think you could have got rid of or changed 2 of the jump trainings. Having it at the start and having it at the end, I think this is a fabulous finish and a fabulous climax to a really challenging workout. And that's it. There's no core training. We get through all that. We finish with that final 30 seconds of jump training, and that is your workout complete. What do I think of it? I really like what they've done here. So grit, I was a big fan of Grit Playa. I'm a huge high intensity. I'm a huge high intensity trainer. I really like doing that as a coach. I really like doing it as a participant, and it still has that high explosive action. It has heaps more cardio, heaps more agility and athleticism. The feedback I've had from my classes, so the last class I taught yesterday had 35 people doing it. Every single one of them came up and was like, dude, that was cool. That was really different. Enjoyed it. It was a challenge, and it was also accessible. So it's a huge cardiovascular challenge for any fitness level. It's also really accessible for those who cannot do the massively high jumps because of injuries or pre-existing conditions, or for first timers. They don't see a massive tuck jump exploding off the top of the bench, and you don't have to do that kind of action for 30 minutes. So as a whole, all in all, I really like what they've done. Grit Athletic gets my tick. I think they need to change the concept of that jump training for a minute, then 50, then 40. Maybe it wouldn't be so bad if I liked the music. I find the music was pretty boring, and then to do the same thing for 4 times and just change the timing, I think that's just lazy. But we'll see. We'll see what the next release does. Having it once and then having it at the end was enough. Anyway, those are my 2 cents worth. I hope you enjoyed the review. I hope it's useful for you. Hope you have access to a Grit Athletic class. If not, try going somewhere that does have one and give it a spin. We'll see you later, guys. Catch ya.